Welcome to the Great Minds Lab channel,
on our Trending Slang and Small Talk English.
the podcast where you learn real English people.
Every day.
Hi everyone, welcome to Trending Slang and Small Talk English, the podcast where you learn real English people use every day. I'm Mia.
And I'm Alex.
Today's phrase is at the end of the day. You hear it everywhere, at work, online, in videos, but what does it really mean? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I hear this one all the time. Like, at the end of the day. But wait, sometimes people say it and it's not about the actual end of the day. This is the confusing part for me.
Exactly. That's exactly why we're doing this episode. So let me ask you first. When you hear someone say, at the end of the day, what do you think they mean?
Okay, so like when the day finishes? Like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, evening time?
Right, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But here's the thing. At the end of the day usually doesn't mean the actual end of the day at all.
See? This is why English is... Okay, so what does it mean then?
So, at the end of the day is a way of saying the most important thing is, or what really matters is. It's like you're saying your main point after thinking about everything else.
Okay. Can you give me an example? Like a real situation?
Sure. Imagine you and your friends want to go eat dinner. Someone says, let's go to that expensive restaurant. Another person wants pizza, someone else wants sushi, and then finally someone says, at the end of the day, we just need to pick somewhere. I'm hungry.
Okay. So they're not talking about nighttime. They're saying like, the most important thing is...
Exactly. Or another way, when you forget all the small details, the important thing is, it's about getting to what really matters.
But wait, so if I want to actually talk about the end of the day, like evening time, I should say something different?
Well, you can still use it for the actual time, but you'd usually add more words to make it clear, like, I'm meeting her at the end of the day, around 6 p.m., or more often, you just say this evening or tonight.
This is a lot. So when someone says at the end of the day, I need to figure out if they mean the actual time or if they're making a point about what's important.
I know. But here's the good news. When people talk, it's usually really easy to tell. The phrase is almost always used when people are making their main point about something.
Okay, so can you tell me, like, where did this phrase come from? Why do we say at the end of the day for this meaning?
That's a great question. It probably comes from the idea of looking back on your day. You know, when the day is over, you think about what happened, what actually mattered, what the real result was. Like, you had all these little things happen during the day, but when you look back at the end, what was the important part?
Okay, that makes sense, actually. Like, you finish working, you sit down, and you think, okay, what was today really about?
Exactly, you're getting it. And over time, that idea of thinking about what really mattered became this phrase we use to mean the most important thing is...
Okay, but at the end of the day is probably the most common one in everyday talk, right?
Yes, it's super common in normal English. Maybe sometimes people use it too much. You'll hear it a lot in meetings, in arguments, in everyday conversations.
So I should use it to sound more natural.
You can, but, and this is important, don't use it too much. Some people say it all the time, and it can become kind of annoying, like starting every sentence with, at the end of the day.
How do I know if I'm using it too much?
Well, if you say it more than once in a conversation, that's probably too much. Think of it like salt. A little bit is good, but too much is bad.
Okay. So can we practice? Can you give me some more examples, like different situations?
Sure. Let's start with work situations, since that's where you'll hear it a lot. Imagine your team is talking about whether to use one computer program or another. Someone might say, We can talk about features all day, but at the end of the day, we need something our team will actually use.
Oh, I see. So they're saying all the technical stuff is interesting, but the real important thing is whether the team likes it.
Perfect. You've got it. Here's another one. Let's say two friends are arguing about whether a movie was good or bad. One person might say, "At the end of the day, it's just personal taste. You liked it, I didn't."
So they're saying we can argue, but this is just an opinion?
Exactly. It's a way of saying that you've talked about something from different sides, but now you're saying what you think is the main truth.
Okay, so let me try using it. We can talk about grammar rules all we want, but at the end of the day, the best way to learn English is just to practice talking. Did I use it right?
Perfect. That's exactly right. You talked about a debate, grammar versus practicing, and then used "at the end of the day" to give your answer about what really matters.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm starting to get it. But can I ask something? Is there ever a time when I shouldn't use this phrase?
Good question. I'd say don't use it in very serious writing, like school papers or business reports. It's conversational, so it works great in emails, meetings, normal talks. But it might be too casual for really serious writing. It's pretty common everywhere English is spoken. You'll hear it in the US, UK, Australia, Canada. It's just part of modern English everywhere.
And it's not old, like young people still say it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's still very current. People of all ages use it. Though I will say some people think it's overused. You know, something people say too much when they don't know what else to say.
So I should be careful. Use it, but not too much. And make sure I actually have a good point to make.
Now you're thinking right. So, Alex, we covered the basic meaning of "at the end of the day." Now let's talk about some situations where people use it a lot and maybe some mistakes to avoid.
Yes, please. I want to make sure I don't sound weird when I use it.
You won't sound weird, I promise. Okay, so one really common place you'll hear this is when people disagree. It's often used to kind of make a strong opinion sound softer, you know?
What do you mean by softer?
Well, imagine you're disagreeing with someone, but you don't want to sound mean. You might say, "I understand your point, but at the end of the day, I think we need to do something different."
Ah, so it's like you're saying you heard them, but then you're still making your point?
Exactly. It's a way to be strong about your opinion while still sounding nice and thoughtful. You're saying, "I've thought about everything, and here's my answer."
That's useful. At work, I sometimes need to disagree with people, but I don't want to be rude.
Right, and this phrase helps with that. It makes you sound like you've really thought about things. Another common use is when you're trying to make someone feel better or help them see the big picture.
Oh, interesting. Like how?
Let's say your friend is really stressed about something small. Maybe they made a tiny mistake at work. You might say, "At the end of the day, everyone makes mistakes. It's not that big of a deal."
So you're telling them, in the bigger picture, this isn't so important?
Exactly. You're helping them zoom out and see what really matters. It's very comforting because it helps people not worry so much about small stuff.
That's nice. But wait, can it ever, can it sound like you don't care? Like you're not taking something seriously?
Ooh, great question. Yes, it can. If someone is telling you about something that's really important to them, and you immediately say, "Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter," that can sound like you don't care about their feelings.
So I need to be careful with when I use it and how I say it?
Yes, how you say it matters a lot with this phrase. Said in a warm and nice way, it's comforting. Said in a cold way, it can hurt.
English is so much about tone, isn't it?
It really is. That's what makes it hard, but also interesting, right? The same words can mean different things depending on how you say them.
Okay, so let me ask you, what are the most common mistakes people make with this phrase?
Good question. I'd say the biggest mistake is using it too much. I've been in meetings where someone says, "at the end of the day," like 5 or 6 times, and it loses all meaning.
It becomes just noise.
Exactly. It becomes filler, like or like. Another mistake is using it when you're not actually making a main point. Some people use it to start any sentence, not just their important point.
Can you give me an example of wrong use?
Sure, someone might say, "At the end of the day, I went to the store, and at the end of the day, I bought some milk, and at the end of the day, I came home." That's just wrong.
Okay, yes, I see. It's not just a connector between sentences.
Right, it's specifically for saying your main point after thinking about different things. It has a purpose, it's not just decoration.
What about mixing it with other phrases? Like, at the end of the day, the most important thing is...
That's actually fine, because the most important thing is explains what you mean. But saying at the end of the day, ultimately, would be repetitive. They mean the same thing, so you'd be repeating yourself. Just pick one.
So cleaner is better.
Generally, yes. At the end of the day, it's up to you is perfectly clear on its own.
Okay, can I ask about how to say it? Is there a specific way?
Good question. In normal speech, we usually say it faster and connect the words. Instead of saying each word separately, at the end of the day, native speakers usually run it together. At the end of the day. It becomes almost like one word.
Can you say it again slowly, then at normal speed?
Sure, slowly. At the end of the day. At normal speed. At the end of the day, what matters most is... You hear how it flows together?
Yeah, I hear it. It's smoother, more connected.
Exactly. And often we stress end and day. Those are the words that get more volume. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. Okay, that feels more natural.
Perfect. You're getting it. Now, I want to say something important for everyone listening, especially those of you learning English.
What's that?
Don't be afraid to use phrases like this, but also don't feel like you have to use them to sound good. Sometimes learners think they need to use lots of these expressions, but honestly, clear talking is more important than sounding native.
That's actually really nice to hear. Sometimes I feel pressure to use all these expressions.
I totally understand that. But think about it. Even native speakers are different in how many of these they use. Some people speak more simply. Some use more colorful language. There's no one correct way.
So if I say, the most important thing is, instead of at the end of the day, that's perfectly fine?
Totally fine. In fact, in some situations, the most important thing is might be better.
This is helpful. I feel less, what's the word, scared?
Good. That's exactly the point of this podcast. We want to make these expressions easy to understand, not scary. Oh, and speaking of our podcast, if you're enjoying this and finding it helpful, we'd really love it if you could subscribe to the Great Minds Lab YouTube channel. It helps us reach more English learners like Alex here.
Yes, and click that like button. Is that what we say?
Yes, exactly. If this video is helping you understand English better, give it a thumbs up. It really does help us. And it helps other people find this content.
And you know what? At the end of the day, we just want to help people feel more confident with English.
Look at you. Perfect use of the phrase.
Did I do it right?
You totally did. That was a natural, good use. You thought about what we're doing here, and you said our main purpose. That's exactly what the phrase is for.
I'm learning. Okay, so before we finish, can we do a few more quick examples, just so people can hear it in different situations?
Sure. Let's do a quick round. I'll give a situation, and I'll use the phrase. Ready?
Ready.
Situation 1. Your friend is worried about what to wear to a party. At the end of the day, just wear something you feel comfortable in.
Making them feel better about a choice.
Situation 2. Your team is talking about 2 different ways to do a project. We've looked at the good and bad of each, but at the end of the day, we need to go with what costs less money.
Bringing the discussion to an end with the deciding factor.
Situation 3. You're talking to someone who's upset about a bad review they got. I know it hurts, but at the end of the day, one review doesn't define your work.
Giving perspective, reminding them of the bigger picture.
Perfect. You understand the different ways to use it. Now your turn. Give me a sentence using the phrase.
Okay, we can study grammar rules for hours, but at the end of the day, the best learning comes from real conversations like this one.
Excellent. That's a perfect use. You talked about one approach, studying grammar, and then gave your answer about what really matters, real practice.
I did it!
You did. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of practice that helps. You learn by using it, by trying it out, by hearing it used naturally.
So for everyone listening, don't be afraid to try. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay.
Absolutely. Language learning is all about trying and practicing. Which actually brings me to your homework.
Homework?
Yes! If you're watching this on YouTube, we want you to practice using this expression in the comments. Write one sentence using at the end of the day about something in your life, your studies, your work, whatever you want.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then people can see how others use it too.
Exactly. You can learn from each other. And we'll try to read comments when we can. It's a great way to practice without pressure.
And honestly, at the end of the day, practicing in the comments is less scary than speaking out loud when you're not sure.
Another perfect use. You're on a roll.
I'm feeling it now. It's starting to feel natural.
In the comments, write one sentence using the phrase at the end of the day.
And don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real.
Exactly. Practicing like this is one of the best ways to make these phrases feel natural. We'll be back next week with another everyday English expression to unpack. Until then, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember,
Thanks for listening.
subscribe for short English lessons with real slang and small talk.
At the end of the day,
Keep learning and keep it simple.
Love riddles? Try my printable mystery quests on Etsy. Fun for kids and family nights. Link in description.